everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking all about books, so let's just dive right in and get started. I'm currently in my son's room. He is 15 months old and I am sitting in front of his bookshelf. I am a third grade teacher. I'm currently not teaching in the classroom in this season of my life, but I taught for a few years, had my own third grade classroom for a couple of years. I subbed for a bit, and in this season we are growing our family and I am not in a classroom full time, but I have an elementary education K-6 degree, did a lot of classes about English and literature and books. Got to read a ton of books, all those things, being around kids and in my classes. I just want to give you some book ideas from kind of that newborn through elementary phase. I do believe that even young babies you can read higher level books to, because again, they're not comprehending it. They're not truly even looking at the pages or the pictures. And so you can read anything and their language is developing even by just hearing those words. So even if you're baby and you're like, I have a little baby, they're not going to want to read this, but it's like, well, it's still helping them. And if you get a kick out of it and you enjoy reading it, then read it. Go ahead. So the first pile of books I'm going to talk about today are just straight up fun. They are just your go-to. You're going to enjoy it. They're classics. My third graders adored these books. I will put pictures on the screen so you can see them, but let's dive right in. The first book is called After the Fall. It is all about Humpty Dumpty after the story, after the thought of him falling off the wall and getting cracked. What happens to him after that? All the king's horses, all the king's men, they couldn't put Humpty together again. Well, end of the story, but is it? After the Fall, Humpty Dumpty's story. Great book, very entertaining. The next book, I couldn't find the first book in the series, Mother Bruce, so I grabbed Bruce's Big Move. This is part 2. I do not enjoy part 2 as much, so I'm going to put on the screen the first one, Mother Bruce. It is all about a bear that is just kind of grumpy, living his life. He one day is cooking some eggs. Well, it turned out those eggs really had goslings in them. And those goslings see this bear first thing when they uncrack, and they call him Mom, because the first thing they see, they think is their mom. And so the whole story goes into Bruce's life of trying to get rid of these goslings. He does all these tricks, all these things. Get these away. I don't want to be their mom. I'm not their mom. I don't like them. I want to live my life on my own. All of that. Well, you'll have to read the book to see what happens. So Mother Bruce is the first one. Bruce's Big Move is the sequel. The next book is so fun. This one, especially if your child is older, it is a lot, there's a lot more visual stuff going on here. So your child, if they are a little bit older, mid to upper elementary, will enjoy this amazingly. They will love it. It's called The Day the Crayons Quit. Now, all the illustrations in this book, we just need to round of applause, are so good. Pretty much, it is from the perspective of a box of crayons. They write their owner, Duncan, some letters, and your whole book is reading the letters each of the crayons writes to Duncan. And so like the first one is the red crayon, and you can see the pictures in here are all drawn like they're actually drawn with that crayon. And then there's a letter also written like a crayon wrote it in crayon. And it's just talking. Some of them are like, oh, I need a rest. You use me too much. There's one that's super funny. The kids always laugh because the paper broke off of it. So it's like, it's a naked crayon. And so it doesn't want to come out of the box because it's shy. One of them, the beige crayon, is like, hey, you only draw wheat with me. You don't draw anything else. Can you use me more? And it's such a fun book. I believe there's also a second one after as well. But The Day the Crayons Quit, any mid to upper elementary child is absolutely going to adore this book. And let me tell you, you as a parent will enjoy it too. My husband and I have had that conversation about how It's fun when a children's book can also be enjoyed by a parent. There's a lot of books that have one word. They say moo the whole book, and that's fine. But the adult isn't really enjoying it, and if they have to read it over and over and over, it's kind of fun when the adult can enjoy the book as well. And this is one of those that you as the parent will enjoy. The next picture is bound to be one of your kids' favorites, and that's the book with no pictures. And it is just that. It is a book with 0 pictures. Now, my husband loves this book, and he did try reading it to our 15-month-old the other night, and let's just say he didn't appreciate it. This would also be more of an even younger. Honestly, any elementary age I think could enjoy this. Honestly, it just has colors and words, but it is a book that you as the reader are having to say really funny things. I'll just read you the first part. Part of it says, here's how the book works. Everything the words say, the person reading the book has to say, no matter what. That's the deal, that's the rule. So that means even if the words say, blork, wait, what? That doesn't even mean anything. So for example, that's a little bit of the book. It's like the person reading it is being controlled by the book, and the book is making you say weird things and things that don't make sense, and like you have to use different voices and like all that stuff. But the Book with No Pictures by B.J. Novak, he's one of the writers and actors in The Office. So good. He knows how to write a book. And I'm pretty sure there's videos out there of people reading this book to like a whole class. It's really fun when you read it to a whole group of kids, because they're like, it's just a really good time. And you might be a little bit embarrassed as a parent, but your kids like to see that. So they'll enjoy it and you'll enjoy it too. Maybe. The last book in my category of just straight up fun books is Dragons Love Tacos. Dragons Love Tacos. It is the silliest, just weirdest. It's all about just how dragons love tacos. Super random. That's about all I can say about it. There is a second to this book. Again, I didn't love the second, but the first one, so good. I enjoyed reading this book, so I think you will too. That concludes the first pile of books I wanted to share with you. The second pile are books that I think have a really good message. And I think that's really important too as your child gets older, for them to be reading things that are benefiting them. And yes, it's fun for books to laugh and be silly, but it's also fun when a book can teach us something. I am a believer in Jesus Christ. I am a Christian. And so the first book I'm highlighting are Baby's First Bible Stories. There are so many ones out there like this, but it's just one page at a time, sharing the Bible story in a quick, very simple, I don't want to say watered down version, but very simplified version of different Bible stories. And my husband and I personally believe that we want our children to be raised reading the Bible and raised in the church, and to see that. And so reading the Bible from a young age is important to us for our kids. And for example, our son, he isn't going to understand if we pull out the Bible. He's not going to understand it, but he'll start to understand simplified versions of the Bible first. And so starting at a young age, we believe that's really important. So I personally really like this one. 12 of the favorite stories, Baby's First Bible Stories. The next book I want to talk about is Thank You, Mr. Fokker, or Falker. I'm not sure exactly how to say it, by Patricia Polacco. This book just has such a good message. This one's longer, a lot more words on it. So this would definitely be a 3rd grade and up book. But honestly, it's a true story. It is a little bit of a tearjerker, but just such a good message, such a good story for both you and your child. The next book is by the famous Joanna Gaines, Who You Were Made to Be. Honestly, the pictures and the illustrations in this book are absolutely gorgeous. Or actually, I always forget, it's called The World Needs Who You Were Made to Be. The World Needs is a lot smaller on the top, and I always forget that's part of the title. The illustrations are stunning, and it's just an all-around good story about how each child and each person in the world is made differently, and they're made exactly how they're supposed to be. So all around, just a really good message. Not too long of a story. Illustrations are beautiful. Anything Joanna Gaines makes is beautiful, so are we surprised? No. The last one in this pile is a series of books. Now, these are the Little People Big Dreams books. I'm obsessed with these. Now, I have not cracked these open yet with my son, or my daughter. She's still a newborn. We're not reading super advanced books yet. There are a lot of words. This is a historical fiction. They're amazing. So I'm currently holding the Martin Luther King Jr. one, but I have, how many more? 1, 2, 3, 4 more of all just different people. I have Albert Einstein, I have Harriet Tubman, Mother Teresa, Amelia Earhart, Martin Luther King Jr. Like, just such good people. The illustrations are amazing, and it's like long stories telling you about this person's life. You can get so many of them. They're on Amazon. Little bit more spendy for a new book, but introducing your kid at a young age to historical fiction is so important. Wait, would this even be historical fiction? Maybe this is considered a biography, because I think everything in here is true. Yeah, these are true stories about them, just simplified more for a kid, but also like not as much as like the Bible stories, for example. Those are like one page telling the whole story. This is still a lengthy book telling the story, but you can get so many of them, and introducing your kid to more of that like history books and autobiographies and biographies and all that at a young age is really important. In my classroom, I find that the average third grader wanted to read comic books, things with a lot of pictures. What else? More like Captain Underpants. Oh, what's the big one? Dog Man. Ones like that. Diary of a Wimpy Kid that don't have as much, like, they don't have as many words. It's more pictures, more of an experience, which is fine. But that shouldn't be all that they're reading, and a lot of them it was. And so introducing at such a young age the importance of history books and things like that, because I didn't really enjoy that as a kid, but these are so fun. So introduce at a young age, very important. Again, there's 1,000,001 of these. Search on Amazon, Little People Big Dreams. Obsessed. The last category of books I want to go through today are just kind of a random hodgepodge of books that are fun. They're good. They're cool. My kid likes them. I'm excited for my kid to like them. Just kind of all around that. So first one is more for a younger age. This one's called Good Night, but then it also has Spanish. And so every single page you get to have this little lever that like closes the eyes. And so you have to make sure before you read it that you go in and open all the eyes again. So that's a little bit annoying, but it's short, and it says like Good Night Moon, and then it says, don't judge my Spanish, I don't know Spanish very well. Did 2 years, but it's been a while. Buenas noches, Luna. And so it says the same thing, and then you get to bloop, close the eyes. So the whole book, you can introduce your kid to Spanish. Good night, stars. Buenas noches, estrellas. And then you get to close the eyes of the stars. So very fun. You can, as your kid gets into like pointing and touching things, you can like have them do the lever. You can practice the words with them. Say buenas noches. That means good night. Like all of that. There's no harm in like reading Spanish to your kids. The next one is another series of books, and I'm obsessed with these as well. They're all these books. I don't even know what I would describe them, but they're different ones that like say something really intense and like scientific, but then it says for babies. So like this one's rocket science for babies. And so it says things like this is a ball. The ball is moving. Air can't go through it. Air goes around it. Change the shape of the ball to change the airflow. And it's just a super simple pictures teaching something that's like scientific, but really simplified for a baby. And I think that's really fun. I also have optical physics for babies. I have, ABC Science? ABC's of Science for babies. And I just think they're really cool. The author is Chris Ferry. And I think you can also get these on Amazon. So cool, so fun, and interesting for you too. You might be able to learn about quantum physics or astrophysics or general relativity. And maybe your kid will be super interested in science, and this can start him young. The next one is a current favorite of my son, and these are the polka dot books. Again, these are a little bit more expensive, but they're thick books. Well, they have all these little pops on them. And so this one's like the 10 Little Monkey story, and you can like read it as you pop these. He loves it. Again, he's not super interested in books, but he pulls this one off the shelf every day. And I'm just in the other room and I just hear. And I go in there and he's just straight up just flipping the pages and just clicking these. But then he'll like get frustrated because he'll like get to a page where he like already did them or skipped too far ahead, and so they're not like ready and prepped for the next page. And then he's like, and then he like flips back and then he flips this way and skips 10 pages. But I just am in here listening to that, and it's like one of my favorite things about him right now at this age. So they have a lot of different stories, but these are the polka dot books. This one's the 10 Little Monkeys story, which is a classic. Fun story, but adds a little fun twist to it for when kids need to be like touching and poking things. The next one is definitely younger, but can be used more into that elementary too. And this is just straight up called ABC, I think. This is a thick book, but this one is so cool. So it shows, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see, but like it shows A, alligator, B, bird, but the way that they do these, I need to go up close for you to see. So A, alligator, B, bird, but the A here is raised as well as the B, but then you can see when you close it, the A fits right into here and makes part of the alligator, and the B goes into this indent and makes the bird, and all of them are like that. And so there's a lot of like textures and things they can feel in this book. Same with C, the C is raised and it goes right into this divot of a cloud, and then D, it goes into like the waves there of the dolphin, and that's an indent. And all of them are like that, and it's just super fun. The K goes into the kite. Very cool. ABC. I don't know if this is part of the title. Touch, Think, Learn. Love it. And the last book I'll be talking about today is called The Math Curse. This is for older elementary, I guess even into middle school. But this one is just, so I have a math emphasis in my elementary degree. And so this one would definitely be for older, but it's so fun. It's a story, but there's a ton of math problems in the story. So maybe if your kid hates math, doing this together, like doing just like 1 or 2 pages together, can get them interested in math because it kind of disguises math in a story. So let me see if I can give you an example. So it's sometimes easy things like, I take the milk out for my cereal and wonder how many quarts are in a gallon, how many pints are in a quart. Keeps going on and on. And then it keeps talking about his math teacher, this kid's math teacher, Mrs. Fibonacci, or it's a female, Mrs. Fibonacci, which like, again, math. And it's like, oh, they've put a math curse on me. Everything I look at has become a math problem. And it's about this kid just trying to live their life. And then it's like, I try to get on the bus without thinking about anything, but there are 5 kids on the bus, 5 kids get on at my stop, 5 more get on at the next stop, and 5 more get on at the last stop. And then it's like, just kind of keeps going on. I'm not doing a great job of giving these examples, but, and the art in this book is super cool as well. So it's like really cool to look at, as well as like, it gives true and false. It asks hypothetical questions. It has real questions. And then it's like, oh, unfortunately, lunch is a pizza and apple pie. Pizza is cut into 8 equal slices. Pie is cut into 6 equal slices. And you know what that means, fractions. And then there's some fractions questions. So it's just fun. Different things, some English, some math, some like math in English stuff. Like if mail plus box equals mailbox, does lipstick minus stick equal lip? Does tuna fish plus tuna fish equal thorn a fish? So just some interesting things there. And then the back is just very visually like pleasing. All about this kid stuck in a math curse where everything in his life is like a math problem. Maybe some of your kids feel that way. It is a little bit later. My camera died and now I have a special little guest with me, little 6-week-old Lainey. But comment down below, which book was your favorite? I think all 3 of these different categories are important. The random, there's a message, the just fun. They're all needed, they're all important. Also, my husband has recently started a YouTube channel called Trevor Reads. It's all about books. So if you're an adult and you love books, go check out his channel. He's walking you through the process of him writing a novel. That's exciting, as well as just all around quality content about books. He is knowledgeable about it, enjoys it, is passionate, and who doesn't love to watch somebody talk about something they're passionate about? So go check him out. I will put his information down below for his YouTube. But I hope you all have a wonderful day. Hope you enjoyed this content about books. Let me know if you'd like more book content in the future. I got a lot more books stored away in my garage, way more than I have behind me. So let me know if that's something you're interested in. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next video. Say bye! See you next time.